I hospitalized in critical condition.
Jesteście przestępcami.
After the Law and Justice government announced the Polish deal, Poles increased their interest in relocating companies to the Czech Republic, where the tax burden is lower. I will talk to a Czech politician, Ondřej Kolář, who in 2020 was one of the targets of Putin's Russian agents for his anti-communist activities and had to hide in a secret location under the protection of Czech services. We will be talking about whether the Czech Republic will accept Polish entrepreneurs and about how Prague wants to obtain compensation from Russia for blowing up a Czech ammunition depot and the death of 2 Czechs. Hello, I'm Eunika Chojecka, and my guest is the mayor of the largest district in Prague, Mr. Ondřej Kolář. It's great to have you once more in our TV.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Thank you so much for your time. And before we talk about Poles who wants to move their companies to Czech Republics, I want to talk about you. Are you still in hiding?
No, fortunately not. The case that has been in question last year, or sometime we made the interview together in the past, is fortunately over, and I don't have to hide anymore. So that's some good news.
Oh, thank God. And how long did you have to hide from the Putin's agent?
I was in hiding for 20 days, but I was under police protection for 2 months, actually.
Okay. But you're safe now? It's the most important thing.
Hopefully, yes. I don't have, actually, since I'm not under police protection, I very much believe and trust that everything is fine.
Okay.
And maybe relating to all the things that have happened in the past month or month and a half in the Czech Republic, I would be very much surprised if Russia actually tried something as they did last year, because of course, if something happened to either me or any of my colleagues who are also under police protection, Pavel Novotný, who was in your interview last week, or the mayor of Prague, Mr. Hřib, I think that everybody would immediately link this to Russia, undoubtedly.
Yeah, we will talk more about the Czech and Russia conflict in a minute, but let's go back to Polish entrepreneur for a while. After the Polish Law and Justice government's plan were announced, Poles increased their interest in relocating companies to Czech Republic due to lower taxes. And my question is, will Prague or the Czech Republic accept Polish businessmen?
To be honest, I'm not maybe the right person to ask this because I'm not an economical expert, but the Czech Republic as well as Poland is part of the European Union, so I trust that we of course welcome any entrepreneurs, and we see Poland as one of our closest allies. Of course, anybody can found a firm or a company abroad, and the Czech Republic is open to any entrepreneurs who come from the outside. So my answer to your question is hopefully yes. I think that the Czech Republic will be ready to accept not only Polish entrepreneurs but also other entrepreneurs from the European Union.
Let's go back to Czech-Russia topic. The Russian authorities approved a list of hostile states, which only included the United States and the Czech Republic. In a statement, the Czech Minister of Foreign Affairs stated that Moscow's decision was another step towards worsening of relations not only with the Czech Republic, but also with the European Union and its allies. How do you comment on this Putin decision, Mr. Kolář?
I think that Vladimir Putin is honestly, I think that Russia is struggling. They know what they have done here in the Czech Republic. They know that their agents, their members of their military, have blown up an ammunition depot in 2014. Everything has come up now. Our Secret Service has brought quite some evidence to the parliament and to the government, and of course, when the Russians are confronted with something like this, it's in their nature that they sort of start kicking around, and I think that if you take a look at the Russian mentality and everything that has happened in the Soviet Union or in Russia in the past, they had no other option but to react this way. And I think that being on the list together with the United States is something very good for the Czech Republic. We are in a very good company. The United States are actually now our biggest ally in the North Atlantic Alliance, and I wouldn't see it as a disadvantage. Of course, Czech diplomacy now has a task. We have to start new relations with Russia. We in the Czech Republic say that something bad is always good for something, So if this were to be sort of a push to start over or make a reset in Czech-Russian relations, then why not?
Can we say that the Czech Republic has severe diplomatic relations with Russia, or no diplomatic relations in Russia?
No, we do have diplomatic relations in Russia, but I'm saying that we have to start over. The Russians are now the ones who have to state their conditions, the terms and conditions of the functioning of our relations and our diplomacy. Because you must take in mind that the Czech Republic has for example, we have an enormously big embassy in Moscow, and we employed a lot of Russians at our embassy, which of course will now be a problem because the only thing that we know now from the Russian side is that only 19 Russians can work for the Czech embassy, and it was about 100 people in the past. So Czech diplomacy has to sort of think over if we want to keep such an embassy in Moscow, such a big complex of buildings in Moscow, and of course we have to say or think of the things that the Russians have in Prague. Russia has a huge embassy in Prague. Many Russian agents were stationed in Prague, and they sort of had the Czech Republic in Prague as their headquarters for the whole region, for the whole Central and Eastern European region. And this now is a past. We expelled 18 Russian agents in the past month, and this is now continuing. Another number of diplomats, I think more than 20 diplomats, are now on their way away from the Czech Republic. They have to leave until the end of this month.
Yeah, but,
so, as I said, we are now, I'd say, on the starting line, or on the starting position, in the starting blocks of resetting Czech-Russian relations.
But are you not afraid of the consequences about your activities towards Russia?
No, I would say that it's not our activities towards Russia, it's Russian activities towards the Czech Republic. As I said, Russians very well know what they have done. What they have done, or what they have committed, is an act of violence against the Czech Republic. They have blown up, as I said, a military depot here, or an ammunition depot here in the Czech Republic. It was done by members of the Russian military, by the GRU, the Secret Military Service of Russia. And if they now accuse us of being violent or, somehow being enemies of Russia, then of course it's their interpretation. And the only ones who are doing these steps of worsening the relations are the Russians. They have put the Czech Republic on the list of enemies. It wasn't the Czech Republic who said that Russia is our enemy. We only said that the Russians have done something bad and they should compensate us for what they have done. And the Russian reaction was, we will now pronounce you the enemy of the Russian state, and we will put you on the list along the United States. So what have we done?
Yeah. The Czech want compensation from Russia for the effects of an explosion in the Czech ammunition depots. Is there a real chance to get this compensation from Russia? What do you think?
Well, there are, I'd say, two things. One is trying to actually find the people who have done this. There are hints that the people who are behind this attack are the same people who tried to poison Mr. Skripal. You know, in the past, he was the double agent who was poisoned in Salisbury in 2018. And I very much doubt that the Russian side would allow for these two guys to be sort of sent to the Czech Republic to face a trial here. And the other path is trying to convince Russia to sort of compensate for the economic loss, which is around or more than £1 billion. And for this, I think that the Czech Republic will need to seek an aid in among its allies, not only in the European Union, but in the NATO as well. Personally, I don't think that there is a great chance for success, but it doesn't mean that we should not try. You know, Russia has to be put under pressure and has to be sort of, we have to sort of show them that this is not something that we and our allies will tolerate, you know, because if we do that, if we do not sort of make concrete steps against Russia, then of course they will try it again.
I'm asking you about this compensation because Poland cannot obtain compensation from Russia after they attacked in 1939 during the World War on Poland, and we do not obtain even the wreckage of Polish aircraft from Russia, in which, among others, the Polish president, like Kaczynski, died in Smolensk. So I'm asking you how your politicians, Czech politicians, where they take their bravery, you know, to be so concrete towards Russia?
Well, we have to face this in sort of the situation that the Czech Republic is now in, is that we are before our parliamentary elections, which will be in October this year. Czech diplomacy now is very weak. What we have seen is our government sort of trying to, or our government hasn't made very concrete and strong steps against Russia. We haven't asked the allies to help us. So I think that the first step we need to do is change the government that we have, you know, and start acting as a state that has self-confidence. It will be very hard because we have a president who is very pro-Russian and who tries to deny anything that the Russian side does. But if you compare it to, for example, the wreckage of the Polish state airplane with your president, I think that our countries, or the countries that have problems with Russia, be it the Czech Republic, be it Slovakia, be it Poland, be it the Baltic countries, we should, you know, work together and sort of put European officials under pressure and try to convince them that this is something that shouldn't be tolerated at all. You know, Europe has to sort of understand that Russia, on one hand, is a partner in economic ways, but on the other hand, it is an enemy. Russia has pronounced one of the member states of the EU as its enemy. The Czech Republic is now the enemy of Russia. And if the European Union doesn't realize that this is totally unacceptable, then any chances of this being changed are lost, you know. So what I'm saying is the Czech Republic has to I will use a word that might not be appropriate. I'm sorry, but the Czech Republic has to find its balls. We have to stand strong in our position. We have to make very strong diplomatic effort to convince our partners and allies in the European Union and in NATO that they should help us put Russia under pressure. And as you mentioned, you have your own problems, so there is a lot of things that we have in common with other states, as I mentioned Poland, as I mentioned Slovakia, I mentioned the Baltic states. And I think that our aim should be to create a group of states who very, very clearly will say that Russia is a big problem and will convince the European Union that this problem should be dealt with. The Czech Republic, for example, will be presiding the European Union in a year, I think. So we have a great chance of doing this. We have a great chance to actually show that Russia is doing, or the Russian side is actually fighting against the European Union. There is a very hybrid war going on. Cyber attacks from Russian side on hospitals along or in various European states, in Ireland in the past week, for example. And all these things. And again, as I said, to sum it up, we have to find our self-confidence first, and then we have to sort of make our diplomacy strong, to convince our partners to make clear and strong statements against Russia, to actually convince it not to take us as our enemies, but as our partners.
Yeah, you're much more critical towards Czech politicians than we are from the Polish perspective. But from the Polish perspective, Czech politicians are much more brave and concrete towards Russia than Polish politicians. And I want to ask about Mr. Miloš Zeman, your president. Senate may accuse Czech president of high treason after Bedita's scandal. We will consider the possibility of submitting a constitutional complaint on suspicion of treason. We now need to gather the necessary information and listen to experts' opinion on this matter, said Miloš Vystrčil, Speaker of the Czech Senate, quoted by TASS. Do you know any details of what the Czech president might have done?
Our government and our parliament have very strong evidence that the attack on the ammunition depot was actually performed by the Russians, And our president makes an appearance on Czech TV 2 weeks after the incident is described or talked about our Prime Minister and the Minister of Interior. He doesn't comment on it immediately, but he sort of takes a timeout, and after 2 weeks he makes an appearance on the TV, and he says that everything that the two guys, the Prime Minister and the first Vice Prime Minister, the Minister of Interior, have said is wrong, that he has evidence that or that he doesn't have evidence of Russia being sort of part of the attack and such things, And when you see your president actually doing this, then of course you think, who does he serve? Does he serve the Czech people, or does he serve the Russians? Because if he were the president of the Czech state, he would never have done such a thing, And again, on last Sunday, he made another appearance on Czech radio, and he said that there are actually that the case is not as, again, the Prime Minister has described. So he's putting the Czech Republic into very bad light among our allies, and he's sort of helping Russian propaganda in interpreting this problem or this case as they want, because what the Russians have done was they said, well, look, the president of the Czech Republic is saying that Russia is not involved. We trust the Czech president. We do not trust the Czech government. And of course, the Senate has started to sort of checking if this is not an act of high treason.
Your colleague, Mayor Pavel Novotny, who was also under the protection of the Czech services after Russian spy was destroyed in Prague, told us in our TV, our current president is very specific. He's closer to Russia than to the Czech sometimes, and in fact always. And is that true? Is that so bad in Czech Republic?
Well, I'd say that our president is an old man. He's unfortunately also a ill man. He has many medical problems. And he's also surrounded by people who have economic interests in Russia and China. And I would say that since our president is old and ill, he doesn't see everything that is going on around him. And he gives too much space to these people who have their own personal economic interests in Russia. And we are actually now in the process of a tender on the construction of new nuclear power plant in the Czech Republic. We are now in the middle of a tender of buying new military equipment, you know. And if you sort of connect these things together, you see that the people who surround our president have interests in these tenders as well, and they sort of try to push these things towards Russia. So I would say that it's very unfortunate that we have a president who's, how to say it politely? I cannot think of the right word, but to sum it up, our president is not capable of being the president of the Czech Republic.
You mentioned Communist China, and I want to ask about this, another huge threat for Czech Republic and for Poland. And Czech President Miloš Zeman asked China for the Sinopharm coronavirus vaccine. What do you think about this move of President Zeman?
No, it's against the policy of our government. You know, we only use vaccines that have been accepted by the European authorities. And as far as I know, neither the Sputnik V or the Sinopharm have been approved to be used in the European Union. So again, you can see on this example that our president is acting against the Czech Republic. You know, he is actually pressing on the government to sort of start using these vaccines that haven't been approved to be used in the European Union. And he says that we do not need the approval of the European authorities, that we can approve them ourselves, that we can, you know, sort of get on the same path as Hungary, who are using Russian vaccines. And I think personally that this is very wrong. You know, we are part of the EU, so we have to play by the rules as everybody else.
I have a question from our correspondent from Taiwan, Hannah Shen. Czech Senate passed a resolution backing Taiwan's participation in the World Health Organization. Why does Czech Republic support Taiwan?
Well, we see Taiwan as a democracy in the region, and as a democracy that is actually endangered by China. I'm sorry. China has its own imperialistic needs in the region. They see Taiwan as part of China, of mainland China, and we see Taiwan as a partner not only in supporting democracy and human rights, but also in economic ways. Taiwan has made huge investments in the Czech Republic. Apart from China, you know, the Czech Republic was officially visited by the Chinese president, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. They have promised huge investments in the Czech Republic, and nothing has happened, you know. And if you compare Chinese and Taiwanese investments and actions in the Czech Republic, you very clearly see that Taiwan is doing much better, you know. And again, as I said, Taiwan is a democracy apart from China. So I don't see any reason why we should actually not cooperate and collaborate with Taiwan.
But aren't you afraid of consequences from Communist China for your cooperation with Taiwan?
Not at all. What could China do? As I said, you know, Chinese investments in the Czech Republic are very low, you know. And even if they say we wouldn't or won't invest in the Czech Republic anymore, then okay, that's fine. We don't need the Chinese, you know. As I said, I think that it's not that I think, but it's for certain that Taiwan is doing much better in the Czech Republic. You know, investments from Taiwan and economic action from Taiwan is much bigger in the Czech Republic than from China. So if the few Chinese companies that are in the Czech Republic decide or are ordered, you know, to leave our market, it wouldn't be a big problem for us.
Thank you so much. My guest was Ondřej Kolář, the mayor of Prague 6.
Thank you very much.
I hope Polish authorities would be encouraged by your brave and concrete activities towards Russia and China. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot.